when you change the tires on the Cybertruck, how is that going to affect your range? Well, today we're going to answer that question. We have Kobra with us. Check out his channel, Kobra told ya. I'm going to go ahead and link that down in the description. Kobra's got his Cybertruck here with this fresh wrap that he just got done, which I really like because it's very similar to mine. It has that brush look, but yet it keeps the stainless steel look. I like that.
It's a DIY. Don't look too close. Keep the magnifying glass away.
Kobra's got almost the exact setup as me. He's got the same running boards. He's got the same center caps on his wheels as me. We both have the OEM wheels. Only difference with our trucks is the fact that I have the Falken Wildpeak AT4s and he has the OEM Goodyear. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to another supercharger about 10 miles away, go 10 miles that way, 10 miles back, 20 miles total. And I want to see what the efficiency numbers look like with the stock wheels and tires and the Falken Wildpeak AT4s with the stock wheels.
Let me just say though, those tires look hard, man. I love the way they look. They look aggressive, they look beastly, and I like them. Look cool.
Yeah, I like them so far. And you know one thing I'll say is that these tires, I was thinking that the ride quality was going to suffer with the Falkens, but actually, and maybe it's just in my mind, I'm not sure, but it feels almost softer.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a little bit harsher ride, and I'm not getting that. That's a good thing, right? The ride quality better, and now it's just a matter of figuring out, are we losing range?
Right.
You know, and so that's what today's test is going to be.
You might gain range.
Yeah. Are we going to lose or are we going to gain?
Yeah.
Or are we going to stay the same?
Right.
We're going to find out. All right, so we're in Kobra's Cybertruck. We want to make sure that all of the settings are the same. In my Cybertruck, what I have it at is chill. You'd like to go a little faster.
Oh man, I just like it standard. It's standard.
Yeah. That's the way I have it in mine. And then auto lower. We'll just keep it all the same. So that way we don't alter anything. We're keeping the temperature at the same, 69. All right, so the first leg of the trip, we went 10 miles, used 5 kilowatt hours, and average energy was 450 watt hours per mile. Let's ask Zach. What's up, Zach? What's the trip telling you?
Trip B is 10 miles, 5 kilowatts, and then average energy was 445.
Woo! 445. So the Falkens are getting better efficiency than the OEMs. 450. It's right there, right? But it's technically over the long, road trip. That's going to increase range. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I really wasn't. All right, so we'll go back, even though Wood Ranch smells good.
Oh man, you ain't lying.
Okay, so coming back 10 miles, 3 kilowatt hours, 310 watt hours per mile. Total distance of 20 miles, we used 8 kilowatt hours, and it was 381 watt hours per mile. Now, Zach,
I got 21 miles. Don't know.
I mean, what you took a detour, or what'd you do?
Right behind you guys the whole time. 8 kilowatt hours and 392.
So we had better efficiency numbers going there, but worse coming back.
I think it was all the stop and go. Because it was more fluid going there, like traffic. But coming back, there was a lot of stop and go,
Interesting. Okay. So there it is, Falken Wildpeak AT4s. On this loop run, overall was slightly less efficient than the OEM Goodyear tires. Going to the other Supercharger, they were more efficient, but Zach is thinking that because it was less stop and go, that had something to do with it, as opposed to coming back where there was a little bit more traffic. So that's interesting. But overall, it's not far off.
Very comparable.
Yeah, it's close, which is actually nice, because I was expecting worse numbers. So yeah, overall, not too bad. All right, so we finished up the range test. We did about 20 miles with Kobra's Cybertruck and my Cybertruck. He has the OEM Goodyear tires. I have the Falken Wildpeak AT4s. And the results were pretty similar. Really weird on how on our way to the Supercharger, the Falkens had better efficiency than the Goodyears, but coming back, it had worse. So overall, the Falkens had worse efficiency, which is going to lose some range, and we'll go ahead and put all those numbers up on the screen for you guys. But I think it was a good test for anybody that's looking to change out the tires, that wants something that's more rugged, off-roading, something to consider.
I would imagine if you ran the test 10, 15 times, they'd be interchangeable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was that close. It was that close.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like the look of those, you know. Look aggressive, look mean, you know. They look pretty cool.
So I think the benefit of this video is just showing people that if you wanted a rugged tire, if you wanted something for off-roading, it's not that big of a concern with range, at least for the Falken AT4s. You know, obviously we don't have every tire, so we can't test them all, but for this test, it shows that it's pretty close, and I do agree with you. I think if we were to do this 10 times, it'll probably be tie.
Right.
So yeah, so thank you guys. And then on the second part of our video, we're gonna do a tow range test with the Falkens, and we're gonna look at those numbers as well. So
Yeah.
all right, so for the second part of our review of the Falken Wildpeak AT4s and the range test results, we have my trailer hitched up to my Cybertruck. A few months ago, I did a video with the OEM tires on the Cybertruck, towing that trailer. Now we're gonna go ahead and see what the results are with the Falken Wildpeak AT4s and see if there's any difference. See if we're getting better results or worse results. So let's go ahead and hit the road. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and reset the trip. All right, so we're all zeroed out. We're gonna go ahead and hit the road on the way to the Supercharger. Once we get there, we'll check the result, and then we will reset it, come back, and then we'll look at the final results. So let's go. All right, so we made it to our destination, and here are our stats. We traveled 56 miles, we used up 58 kilowatt hours, and our average energy was 1,038 watt hours per mile. Let's go ahead and charge, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here and head back home. All right, so we made it back. We traveled 57 miles, used up 50 kilowatt hours, and our average energy was 887 watt hours per mile. Total trip, 113 miles, 109 kilowatt hours used, and average energy was 962 watt hours per mile. Keep in mind, on the way to the Supercharger, most of it is uphill, and coming back, most of it's downhill. So that's why you see the better efficiency coming back. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at these numbers, compare them to what we did with the OEM tires. Okay, so we've done our range tests, not only on just city driving, but also towing with the Cybertruck. We have test results from a previous towing video for the OEM Goodyear tires, And now we have the results with the Cybertruck and the Falken Wildpeak AT4s. And then as you guys saw in the video, Kobra and I did a comparison between his OEM Goodyear tires and my Falken Wildpeak AT4s. And so let's go ahead and dive into all of those numbers and just kind of break everything down. Here's all of the results from the tests. We already went through the numbers for the city driving range test, so you can kind of look at those if you want again, but let's go over the towing test results. Right here with the Goodyear OEM tires from a previous video that I did, going to the Supercharger with the pull-through, it was 57 miles, 77 kilowatt hours used for total efficiency of 1,363 watt hours per mile, which essentially come out to 90 miles of range if we were charged to 100% and went all the way down to 0%. On the way back, coming downhill, we used a lot less energy. So it was still the same 57 miles, 44 kilowatt hours, and the efficiency dropped to 774 watt hours per mile, which would essentially give us a range of 159 miles if we were doing that type of driving. And so for that total trip, we traveled 114 miles, used up 121 kilowatt hours, and our efficiency averaged out to 1,068 watt hours per mile, which essentially gives us a 115 mile range. Now let's go ahead and look at the Falken Wildpeak AT4s doing the same run. Going to the Supercharger was 56 miles. We used less energy going there with the Falken Wildpeak AT4s, which was really surprising. 58 kilowatt hours as opposed to 77 kilowatt hours with the Goodyears. And the efficiency was 1,038 watt hours per mile compared to 1,363 with the Goodyears. So that really makes our range jump up almost 30 full miles. So now it's a 119 mile range with the Falken Wildpeak AT4s. Coming back 57 miles, 50 kilowatt hours of total energy used, and our efficiency was 887 watt hours per mile. So coming downhill was less efficient with the Falkens than the Goodyears. Not 100% sure why, but it is what it is. And due to that, our range got reduced from 159 miles with the Goodyears to 139 mile range with the Falkens. But overall, when you average it all out and you look at the Falken Wildpeak AT4s, we traveled 113 miles, used up 109 kilowatt hours. Total efficiency was 962 watt hours per mile when you average them out. And now we get 128 miles of range, which is 13 miles more than the Goodyear OEM tires. So overall, what this test kind of shows us is that there's times where the Falkens were more efficient and giving us better range than the OEM Goodyears. And then there was times where the Goodyears gave us some extra range and efficiency numbers. So I think at the end of the day, what this test proved was there's really no difference if you're swapping out your tires. If you're going to a beefier off-road tire, something like the Falken Wildpeak AT4s, then you don't need to really worry about energy loss, efficiency loss, and range loss. It's going to be kind of hit or miss, but at the end of the day, you're going to be roundabout at the same level as the Goodyears, or even in some cases, better. So if you are looking for a more aggressive tire, go ahead and buy them. You don't need to worry about it. You can kind of just go with what you want. So overall, I would say that this was a great test. We were really able to dissect the numbers, and I'm really happy with these numbers because one thing that I was worried about was putting the Falken Wildpeak AT4s on my truck and I was going to be losing a lot of range. That's not the case. I'm really happy with the result. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave those down in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer those questions for you guys. So thank you and see you in the next video.